This is Matt Dietz. This is Agency Launch. This is the podcast where I talk about what it's like running an insurance agency. I talk about marketing and sales and staffing and retention. And if you can master those four pillars, you will be successful. That's a lot of work, though. If you want some help with that, send me a text, 208-213-8809, and just send me the word free, and I'll send you a huge resource with a ton of free assets in there. There are PDFs, YouTube channels, podcasts, all kinds of stuff. There's downloadable PDFs, a lot of stuff in there that'll take you a minute to get through. But 208-213-8809, send me the word free. Okay. Hey, what's up? All right, today I wanted to talk about asking. This is my new favorite word. My word for 2024 is ask, right? I think we should be doing more asking. I want to talk about a couple of scenarios where we're asking twice or asking again. When I worked for a company before I was an agent and I was kind of cutting my teeth on sales, the company was pretty sales centric, and they taught me that they told me I had to take 3 no's before I moved on from trying to sell something. So if I went up and I was like, hey, do you want to buy this? And they say no, I would have to have something in my pocket to retort with, which was, are you sure? Because if something, so I worked for Enterprise Rent-A-Car, right? And I had to sell their damage waiver. Hey, do you want us to cover the car for you while you have it? It's only, $11.99 a day or something like that. And they would say, no, thank you. I'd say, well, are you sure? Because if anything happens, your deductible's at risk and your rates might go up, and maybe you don't want to worry about that because you're only going to be in a car for a couple of days. You want to just pay the $25 again. And they'd be like, no. I'm like, well, are you sure? You take one more. I don't even remember what my third retort was, but you have to have 3 of them. Now, statistically, my close ratio was higher because of those 3 no's. If you take the first no and you ask 100 people, you might, whatever, these numbers don't mean anything, but you might sell 10 or 20. Let's say it's 10, okay? If you take 1 no and you take 2 no's, your close ratio might go to 18. If you take 3 no's, it might go to 25, right? What you want to be doing is be prepared for the no and then turn it into a maybe and then turn it into a yes. There are a couple of instances this week where I used that, let me tell you one of them. I sold a life policy to a woman because they run a lot of premium through their personal lines. And I told them what the discount was going to be on if they just added a life policy. I said, hey, if you add a life policy to this account, it's going to save you a net of $400. It's going to save your house $600. The cost of the policy is $200. You're going to save $400. You want us to do that for you, right? It's a simple application. I'll help you with the paperwork, blah, blah, blah. She came back and she said, and I did this over text, but I know these people really well. I have a good relationship with them. This wasn't a cold reach out. They said, no, thanks. It's not worth the trouble. And I could have walked away from that and been like, well, that's weird. But I pushed because I thought that was dumb. I was like, if I walked up to your house with $400 in my pocket and I offered it to you, would you tell me no? Because that's, in my mind, that's what's happening. Now, I didn't say this to her, but I came back. I literally texted, hang on, send. And really, I was like, I said, look, I'm really trying to just save you $400 with no work. She came back and she said, well, I don't want to do the exam. And that was it. Okay. This was a instant issue policy where there's no exam needed. I said, no. There's no exam needed. All we need to do is answer 3 questions. And the questions are like, are you dying? Are you going to die? And are you on oxygen or something like that? She's 40 years old, right? Oh yeah, go ahead then. So there, I took 1 no and then I pushed back, and my first pitch, I thought it was good, but I did not say it did not require an exam. And that's where you can get caught up sometimes with life insurance. Sometimes people don't want to go through that, but especially in this case, when you're just doing it to get a discount, they didn't need the life insurance. We were using it to lower premiums on their home and auto. That was good. Got a life policy because I didn't take her first no. I did the same thing with an underwriter recently. We have a restaurant that we insure that has a truck and trailer, quote unquote, like a food truck, but it's a truck and a trailer. And my company no longer does food truck. They were non-renewing the truck and the trailer. And so I'd maybe find someplace else for it, which was going to be a challenge. It was going to be a challenge. I actually reached out to the owner who I know, and I was like, hey man, how often do you use this thing? And he's like, I use it twice a year. I go, what do you make from it? He's like, I make whatever, $3,500 a year net from using this thing. And he's like, I use it in a couple other places for volunteer and stuff like that, but I use it like 3 or 4 times a year. I go, the insurance on this is $2,500. You're netting $1,000 by using this thing. Do you want to keep using it? And eventually he hemmed and hawed just a little bit. And he's like, you know what? No, I won't use it. I'll just park it in my lot and use it for signage. And I believe him. I've known this guy for years. We have to have trust with our clients, and I know he's not going to use it because he told me, right? I tell my underwriter, I was like, hey, I need this put back on the policy because he's not going to use it. Well, my underwriter is skeptical. He's like, well, how do we know that they're not going to use it for food truck? I told him, well, because we know the client, and that's what he told me. And I trust that that's going to be the case. Plus, I told him if anything happened and he was using it for that purpose, it probably wouldn't be covered. That's why I got an email from somebody else in underwriting that came back and said, sorry, we can't add this because for the same reason, because we don't know if he's going to use it or not. I was told no, and I pushed back. I said, hey, look, this client is not going to use this for that purpose. I talked to him in length. I talked to him for a half an hour about his business operation. I said, he's going to use this as signage in his lot. Can you please put it back on the policy? Now, I was nice when I did this. I didn't come at her like that. I started the email with, I need your help. Okay. Memorize that little line. Okay. It gets you into conversations a lot more smoothly instead of coming at them like coming out of a rocket launcher. Hey, I need your help. This is what's going on. Can you please put it back on? And she came back. She said, let me check with my supervisor. Check with the supervisor the next day. They said, oh, all right, we'll put it back on. Now, I was told no on that, and I didn't take it. What I'm trying to say is if you don't get an answer you like, and you think or believe that what you're trying to do is right or in the best interest of the clients, then push back. Okay, you can do that. You can go toe to toe with your underwriters if you need to. You have to have a case. You have to explain why. You just can't say because I said. You have to have a reason behind why you're going to push back. They have a reason they say no. Okay, but you have to combat it with a better reason to turn it into a yes. Same with the first situation where I sold the life policy. She didn't understand that she wasn't going to have a paramed exam, and as soon as that information came out, it was done. That was probably a little bit of my fault, but if I did not come back and I did not ask again, I wouldn't have got it. Don't take a no. All right. Find a retort, stay in the conversation. There are some folks who use internet leads and use sales scripts, and those sales scripts are designed to get through the first 2 no's, and there's a proven way to do that. You could probably search for some good sales scripts to get some examples on how to combat a no, turn it into a yes. And if you can do that and you can become good at it, you're going to sell more insurance. Okay. Statistically, it will happen. Okay. There you go. My name's Matt. This is Agency Launch. You can find me all over the place. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram and Threads at Dietz Agency. Don't forget to send me a text, 208-213-8809. Send me the word free, and I'll hook you up with a great asset with a ton of really good information to help you grow your business. Thank you so much for listening. Keep up the good work.
Anywhere on the waterfalls, we'll be there too. Flying down the freeways, high above the airwaves, to ride rock and roll.